everyone, I'm Angela Nugid-Odulio and you're watching Eagle News International France edition with news from continental Europe. In today's news, France's President Emmanuel Macron gave his first television interview. 1 year after the jungle camp was torn down in Calais, things have gone from bad to worse, Calais residents say. In lifestyles, one of the most expensive parks near Moscow in Russia. The crêpe, a signature pastry of France. The popular street food Soca in Nice. Aside from the famous Arc de Triomphe, Paris has also another arch that's modern. In sports, the Summer Olympics Games of 2024 will be held once again in Paris. And we learn basic rules of pétanque from Marseille, France. 3 months after his election as President of France, Emmanuel Macron gave his first television interview. During the first months of his presidency, Macron defied street protests to lower France's labor laws, an issue brought to the table during this interview, to which he replied,
Le taux de chômage est en train progressivement de baisser. Il baissera la plénitude des réformes qui sont en train d'être conduites par le gouvernement. Vous les verrez dans 1 an et demi, 2 ans.
On the other hand, his opponents criticized him as being a president for the wealthy as he is planning to limit wealth tax. He explained his plan by saying,
Si je n'avais d'estime que pour celles et ceux qui réussissent monétairement ou économiquement, je ne serais pas aujourd'hui devant vous. Je ne serais pas ici dans ce bureau.
He finally declared in his address to his fellow citizens that he was elected by all groups of the country's citizens, not just by one group. On the international front, despite his unconventional strategies regarding Iran and climate change, Emmanuel Macron declared about his US counterpart Donald Trump that the USA is a close ally.
C'est notre histoire et notre histoire, elle nous oblige et nous emporte. Nous sommes aujourd'hui engagés ensemble dans la lutte contre le terrorisme islamiste. Dans la coalition internationale, ensemble. C'est notre partenaire le plus essentiel en matière de sécurité et de lutte contre le terrorisme.
As economic migrants and refugees from the Middle East and Africa continue to try to reach England through Calais, things have gone from bad to worse, Calais residents say, 1 year after the jungle camp was torn down.
Pas de changement du tout. Du tout. Moi, je les ai du matin au soir. Hier, c'était dimanche. Ils étaient torse nus et ils étaient là en train de s'amuser autour de la haie, en train de hurler comme des sauvages, avec des canettes de bière, parce qu'ils prennent de la bière. Attention, ils sont alcoolisés, pas comme avant. Les tout premiers, c'était vraiment des pères de famille, des familles entières, et eux se tenaient calmes et ils étaient gentils. Tandis que là, ce sont tous des gamins de 15, 18, 20 ans maximum.
I go to England because my family is there. If you make asylum here in France, it's not easy for me. Maybe if you refuse my case, here is nobody help me.
Many expected drastic changes and for the area where the jungle camp once stood to remain clear of migrants. While waiting for help, migrants sleep in wooden areas mostly around Calais' industrial zone, relying on charities for food and washing themselves in portable washrooms. Last July, the French government announced it would provide water and sanitation to migrants and open 2 reception centers away from the city. Calais Mayor Natacha Bouchard said 800 to 1,000 migrants have now amassed around the city. The director of tracking company RDV Transport, Jean-Pierre Devigne, said the promises made by former President François Hollande's government to clear Calais of migrants was never fulfilled. And while they had some breathing space after the jungle was shut down, migrants are once again trying to cross over to Britain by jumping on lorries.
Il y a eu une amélioration quand ça a été démantelé, quand ils sont partis, oui, on a pu revivre quelque part, entre guillemets. Mais là, maintenant, depuis un certain temps, on voit que ça revient et de plus en plus, on en croise, quoi. Donc, ça devient vivable, tout simplement.
Jean-Pierre Devigne said their trucks were damaged by rocks thrown by migrants and they had to install security cameras and barbed wire fences costing them up to 20,000 euros. Videos taken by their CCTV cameras showed migrants last September jumping on fences and onto the roof of trucks. While President Emmanuel Macron has called for migrants to be treated with dignity and instructed his government to speed up France's asylum process, France had refused to open a new reception center in Calais, saying it would act as a magnet for migrants. Stay tuned for our lifestyle stories.
Welcome to Lifestyles. In today's episode, we'll discover one of the most expensive parks in the world, which cost over 200 million euros and took 3 years to make. Let's hear from our Russian correspondent in Moscow.
Moscow is well known for its architectural history and parks. Recently, a new park was opened. After 3 years of construction, Saryadzi Park, located close to Kremlin in Moscow, Russia, opened its gates to the public. Over 250,000 visitors have visited the park since its opening. This is the city's first constructed park-in since 1925. The park is designed according to the latest trends in landscape architecture. It features the unique design created in the center of the city. Saryadzi's name means the place behind the market. Experts have described the park as an outdoor museum. Saryadzi is one of the most expensive parks in the world, costing 14 billion rubles or close to 250 million euros. Saryadzi is a wonderful park to visit. During the night, you can see different colors of light everywhere. The colors of the lights are remotely set depending on the season, weather, or time of day. An artificial pond completes its unique river overlook. This park is a perfect place to visit while on your holiday with your family. From Moscow, Russia, this is Amy Coloma, and I am one with 25.
Have you ever tasted a delicious crepe? Marivic Nerit will take you to the Place de Trocadero to learn all the different ways we can enjoy the French specialty.
Have you already heard about crepes? These very thin pastries that we usually eat at fun fairs or even at home? Well, they're so delicious that it makes everyone crave for them. Recently, the crepe cake has gone viral. The concept? Spreading buttercream or whipped cream on several crepes, then layering them on top of one another to form a cake. The advantage of it? You can put as much cream on the crepes as you want, which is always a good thing. You can even choose what flavor to put in it, whether it's chocolate, vanilla, matcha, or even some sliced fruits like strawberries or so on. It is basically composed of milk, wheat, flour, eggs, sugar, and vanilla. You either eat it with sweet things like chocolate sauce, honey, or sugar. But there's also the alternative choice. Putting ham with some cheese and fried egg is a must-try. It is not only in France where you can find these precious pastries. Even in Japan or America, they have their own version of it. They roll it with some cream and fresh fruits and put it in a paper cone. That's why crepes are now everyone's delicacies and we're craving for them. Reporting from Paris, France, I am Danatea Eyor and I am one with 25.
Let's continue our food tour of France. We'll now go to Nice in the south of France and learn about the popular street food soca.
Bonjour à tous, bienvenue à Nice, la capitale de la Côte d'Azur. Nice est située au sud-est de la France, dans le département des Alpes-Maritimes, dans la région Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur. Elle est établie sur les bords de la mer Méditerranée. La ville est à environ 30 km de la frontière italienne. C'est la deuxième ville la plus visitée de France. La ville de Nice est dotée d'une richesse unique. Elle est réputée autant pour son attrait touristique que son art de vivre, ainsi que sa cuisine traditionnelle et méditerranéenne, avec beaucoup de légumes frais, saveurs et senteurs. C'est en flânant dans le Vieux-Nice, avec ses ruelles pittoresques, ses façades aux couleurs ocre, déclinées jusqu'au jaune ou rouge, que vous découvrirez la fameuse soca. La soca est une galette très grande et fine à base de farine de pois chiches, traditionnellement cuite sur une plaque ronde en cuivre dans un four à bois. Elle se déguste bien poivrée, très chaude et surtout une bonne soca doit être à la fois croustillante en dessous et moelleuse au-dessus. C'est pourquoi, lorsqu'elle est achetée, elle est généralement dégustée sur place ou à emporter. De Nice, je suis Janine Pegolo et je suis 1 avec 25.
In Paris, Arc de Triomphe is one of the most visited landmarks, but not many tourists know that Paris has another arch that's modern. Here's Faith Valencia with her report on the Arches of Paris.
Everyone knows about the Arc de Triomphe, but did you know there are 2 arches you should see here in Paris? Come along and I'll show you. The whole name of this landmark is Arc de Triomphe de l'Étoile, meaning the triumphal arc of the star. It was built in the center of Place Charles de Gaulle, which used to be called Place de l'Étoile, and has 12 avenues surrounding it. From an aerial view, the arc at the center of the roundabout looks like a star. The plans of this arc was created during the rule of Napoleon to celebrate France's military victories, but Napoleon never got to see it completed. He only got to see the miniature version of it, which is on display at the small historical center at the top of the arc. Be ready for a workout. You have to climb 284 steps to get to the top. You can ask to take an elevator halfway up, but you still need to take the stairs the rest of the way. At the top of the Arc de Triomphe, you can see the next arch at the other end of the Champs-Élysées. While the Arc de Triomphe symbolizes France's past, the Grand Arche de la Défense symbolizes France's future and its economy. This futuristic-looking arch was inaugurated on the 200th anniversary of the French Revolution and located in the business district of Paris, La Défense. Thank goodness for modern technology. No climbing needed while exploring Le Grand Arche. An open-view elevator will take you to the top in less than a minute. At the top, there is an exhibition hall with changing showcases dedicated to photojournalism, and you can find nice quiet spaces too. This landmark is less crowded compared to the better-known Arc de Triomphe. If you want to see one of the best views of Paris, make sure to check out these 2 arches while you're in town.
From the Arc de Triomphe here in Paris, France, I'm Faith Valencia, and I am 1 with 25.
That's all for today's Lifestyle Stories. Let's learn more in our next episode. I am Alia Garcia and I am 1 with 25.
After 100 years, the Summer Olympic Games in 2024 will be held once again in Paris. A study by Bureau Veritas, an analysis group, has reported that Paris is almost equipped and facilitated to host the 2024 Olympic Games. Also, they report that a third of the 155,000 rooms in Ile-de-France will be reserved for the Olympics. The quality of transport networks was also highlighted in the Bureau Veritas report. The launch of the Grand Paris Express is considered as one of the biggest shipyards in the world. In addition, 68 new stations and 200 kilometers of new subway lines will halve the travel time between the airports of Charles de Gaulle and Orly. The French Minister of Sports mentioned in a recent interview that France is aiming for an 80-medal haul for the 2024 Summer Olympics. From Paris, we go to the south of France where we will find out about an age-old game that has been played all over France for centuries.
Hello and welcome to Marseille in France. And today, we will teach you the basic and simple rules of the pétanque so that you'll also become familiar with this sport that comes to mind when we talk about Provence, France.
The goal of the game is to toss hollow metal balls as closest as possible to a small wooden ball called cochonnet, to score points while keeping both feet inside a small hoop or a silk drawn on the ground. The one who scores 13 points wins. Pétanque is played on a relatively flat ground, which is generally semi-dusty, semi-sandy, or at the parks. To start a game, the cochonnet is thrown first from a prescribed distance of 6 to 10 meters. Starting from a small circle drawn or a small hoop placed on the ground. From this circle, players must throw their balls. Be careful to not go beyond the circle, otherwise there is a fault. Two techniques of shooting are used in pétanque, pointe and tirer. The first gesture is pointe, to point. The aim is to throw the balls closer to the cushion to score points by adopting a standing or curved position in order to draw the balls in a low manner for greater precision by stretching the arm back and forth to give momentum. The second gesture is tirer, to shoot. It consists of removing a ball that has been pointed by the opponent to appropriate his point and to make him replay. You have to simply aim your opponent's ball in a standing position, feet joined in the circle, not forgetting to stretch the arm backward to give momentum to the ball.
That's it. You become true players of pétanque. We wish you all a very nice game. I am Febelin Calpo. I am one with 25.
And that's all for today's sports news. I am Kenneth Manalo and I am one with 25.
That's it for today's Eagle News International France edition. Thank you for watching and join us again next time as we bring news that matters to you.